My boss smiled as security dragged the old janitor out of the building. Everyone clapped. 30 minutes later, every executive in that room was on their knees, begging him not to make one single phone call. But let's rewind, because none of this makes sense yet. And by the end of this story, you're going to understand exactly why a 71-year-old man mopping floors at Halden Tower had the power to end careers with a whisper. My name is Ryan Cole. I was 26, and I worked in marketing at Halden Tower, a 22-story glass building in downtown Chicago, owned by Halden Global Enterprises. I'm not the janitor. I'm the one who watched what happened to him, and I've never been able to forget it. His name was Walter Simmons. Everyone called him the old guy, or Walt, or, when they felt cruel, the mop. Walter had cleaned that building for almost 3 years. Gray hair, quiet eyes, a slow, careful walk, like his knees hurt, though he never complained. He wore the same faded blue uniform every day, and always said, "Good morning," even to people who never looked up to answer him. Most people didn't see him at all. Janitors are always there. Nobody notices them until something goes wrong. And on a Tuesday morning in March, something went very wrong. Our floor's senior vice president, Gregory Holden III, was storming down the hallway, his face red, his tie loosened like he'd already been screaming at someone. Gregory wasn't just an executive. He was the son of the company's founder. 34 years old, expensive suits, a watch worth more than most people's cars, and a temper that made half the office flinch when he walked past. Gregory wasn't just an executive. Rumor had it he was being groomed to take over the Holden empire once his father stepped back, which meant Gregory acted like he already owned the building and the people in it. That morning, Gregory knocked over a folder of documents on the conference table while gesturing angrily at someone on a phone call. That's not how he told it, though. Walter was walking by with his cleaning cart when Gregory saw him. "You," Gregory snapped, pointing like Walter was a stray dog. "Did you do this?" Walter blinked, confused. "Do what, sir?" "These documents are ruined. This is a $200,000 contract, soaked, because some janitor left his mop bucket near my table." There was no mop bucket near the table. I know because I was standing right there, holding my coffee, frozen, watching this unfold. Walter's cart was across the room, untouched. But Gregory didn't care about facts. He cared about an audience. By then, half the floor had gathered near the glass conference room walls, watching. "I didn't touch your table, sir," Walter said, his voice level, never rising. "I've been on the other side of the floor for the last 20 minutes. "Are you calling me a liar?" Gregory's voice boomed through the hallway. Walter said nothing. He just looked at him, calm, patient, the way you'd look at a child having a tantrum. That silence made Gregory even angrier. "Security!" he shouted. "Get this man out of my building! Now!" 2 guards appeared almost instantly, like they'd been standing by, waiting for this. They grabbed Walter by both arms. "Sir, please," Walter said, still calm. "I have a work order on the 14th floor." "You're finished here," Gregory said, effective immediately. "Don't come back for your final paycheck. Consider it a donation." Then Gregory turned to the crowd behind the glass and said, loud enough for everyone to hear, "This is what happens when you disrespect this family's name." And people clapped. Not everyone, but enough. A dozen employees, maybe more, clapping as a 71-year-old man was physically dragged toward the elevator, his cleaning cart left behind, still spinning slightly from where the guards had bumped it. I didn't clap. I couldn't. My stomach was in knots. But I didn't say anything either. That silence has haunted me every day since. As the guards pulled him past me, Walter looked at me. Just for a second. His eyes weren't angry. They weren't even sad. His eyes were unreadable, like a man who had seen far worse things than this, and knew, somehow, that this moment would pass. He said one thing to me, quietly, just before the elevator doors closed. "Tell Gregory I hope he remembers this morning." I didn't understand what that meant. Not then. The elevator doors closed, and just like that, Walter Simmons was gone. Gregory straightened his tie and walked back toward his office like a king returning to his throne. The crowd slowly dispersed, whispering, some laughing nervously, some already forgetting it had happened at all. I went back to my desk, but I couldn't focus. Something about the whole thing felt wrong. Not just morally wrong, though it was that too, but wrong in a way I couldn't explain yet. Here's the thing nobody noticed. When Walter said, "Tell Gregory I hope he remembers this morning," he wasn't scared, and he wasn't begging. He sounded almost disappointed, like a teacher watching a student fail a test he'd already warned them about. At 10:47 that morning, 19 minutes after Walter was thrown out, my phone buzzed with a company-wide alert. Mandatory meeting. All department heads. All senior staff. Immediately. Executive boardroom. Top floor. I wasn't senior staff, but my manager grabbed me on the way, saying they needed someone to take notes. So I ended up in the back of the largest boardroom in the building, watching 40 of the most powerful people at Holden Global Enterprises shuffle in, confused, whispering, none of them knowing why they'd been summoned. Gregory arrived last, still riding the high of humiliating an old man in front of the entire floor. Then the door opened again, and Gregory's father walked in. Richard Holden, 68 years old, founder of the company, a man who almost never came into the office anymore, who ran things from his estate outside the city, who hadn't set foot in this building in over a year. His face was pale, and when he spoke, his voice broke in a way none of us had ever heard. "I just got off the phone," Richard said slowly, "with our lead investor. Nobody moved. He's pulling out. All of it. Effective immediately." "Do you understand what that means?" Richard asked, his eyes locking on his son. "Do you understand what you did?" Gregory's smile finally disappeared. "Dad, what are you talking about?" Richard's hands were still shaking as he set his phone down on the table, screen facing up like it was something radioactive. "The investor," Richard said, "mentioned an incident that happened on this floor this morning, involving a janitor." The entire room turned to look at Gregory. "He said," Richard continued, barely above a whisper, "that if the man who was thrown out of this building this morning doesn't receive a formal apology within 24 hours, Holden Global Enterprises will cease to exist by the end of the month." The room went silent. "That's not possible. He's just a janitor," Gregory said, his face white. Richard looked at his son like he was seeing a stranger. "Gregory," he said quietly, "do you have any idea who Walter Simmons actually is?" That's when I realized none of us did. Because in the next 30 seconds, Richard Holden said a name that made 3 executives stand up in shock, made the company's chief legal counsel drop his pen, and made Gregory Holden III, the man who just had a 71-year-old janitor thrown out of his own building, sit down slowly, like his legs had stopped working. I still remember his exact words. "Walter Simmons isn't just some old man who mops our floors," Richard said. "Walter Simmons built this building." The room erupted into chaos, voices talking over each other, someone asking if this was a joke, someone reaching for their phone. But Richard wasn't finished. "And that's not even the worst part," he said, his voice shaking. "The worst part is what he's about to do next." Gregory looked up, his face gray. What is he about to do?" Richard didn't answer right away. He just stared at his son, like he already knew the answer would destroy everything Gregory had ever worked for. And at that exact moment, every phone in the boardroom buzzed at once. 40 phones, 40 notifications, all at the same second. Nobody dared to look down first. I stood in the back of that room, my own phone buzzing in my pocket, and my heart pounded. If this was hitting my phone too, whatever was happening wasn't just about the executives. It was about all of us. Richard Halden looked first. He picked up his phone slowly, like it might bite him. What he saw made him sit down hard, his hand pressed flat against his chest. "Dad?" Gregory's voice cracked. "What does it say?" Richard turned the phone around so the room could see. I couldn't read it from the back, but I could read the reaction. Gasps rippled across the boardroom. Someone whispered, "Oh my God." An executive near the front stood and backed away from the table. Gregory reached for his own phone with shaking hands. That's when the boardroom door opened one more time. A man in a dark suit none of us recognized stepped inside. He didn't introduce himself. He didn't need to. Everyone in the room already understood who had sent him. "Mr. Halden," the man said, looking at Gregory. "Mr. Simmons would like a word with you, personally. Tonight." Gregory's mouth opened. No sound came. And somewhere across the city, in a modest brick house none of us had seen the inside of, an old man in a faded blue uniform hung it up for the very last time. He wasn't smiling, and he wasn't angry. He was simply making a phone call that was about to change everything.